President Biden delivering his State of the Union this evening. The president highlighting his accomplishments in office and unveiling his plans for the future. Biden taking on reproductive rights, immigration reform, and Israel's war against Hamas. ABC's Perry Russoms on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden on his biggest platform, unveiling his plan to take on some of the biggest issues at home and abroad. The president calling for immigration reform as his border security bill stalls in the Republican-controlled House.
This bill would save lives. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming.
Sitting with the First Lady, Kate Cox. She was denied an abortion in Texas under the state's strict ban.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
Biden announcing an emergency military mission to build a port in Gaza, delivering food, water, medicine, and shelter.
For the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority.
A senior administration official telling ABC News it will take weeks to plan and execute, and it will be carried out by the U.S. Army. Pentagon sources say all work will be done by U.S. troops offshore, and there will be no U.S. boots on the ground inside Gaza. Without mentioning former President Trump by name, Biden drawing contrast from his expected opponent in November.
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth: you can't love your country only when you win.
Alabama Senator Katie Britt, the youngest Republican woman ever elected to the Senate, delivering the GOP response.
The country we know and love seems to be slipping away, and it feels like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams.
The president started his speech talking about the war in Ukraine, telling Congress they have to stand up to Russian President Vladimir Putin, asking lawmakers to pass the bill that would send aid to Ukraine. And the president with a direct message to Vladimir Putin saying, "We will not walk away." Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
Perry, thank you. Some government officials are asked to sit out the State of the Union to serve as a designated survivor.
Exactly right. And ABC 10's Alicia Machado joins us live in studio after speaking with a congressman representing California who has been selected this year.
Well, Alex and Laura, Congressman Mike Thompson was chosen as a designated survivor for the State of the Union this year. He watched from an undisclosed location from the Capitol to be prepared to step in the event of a disaster or attack. He shared with us more about the process and what it's like to be a designated survivor.
In the sea of top government officials and guests at the State of the Union, one person you won't find in the audience is Congressman Mike Thompson, and for good reason. He's been chosen as a designated survivor, a person who would take charge if something catastrophic happened to government leaders. The representative for California's 4th District, which includes parts of Yolo and Solano counties, was selected by Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries.
The only rule is I can't be on campus. I have to go somewhere else to, an undisclosed location.
And Thompson is familiar with this process. He's been selected as designated survivor a few times.
I usually watch the State of the Union on the television and am there in case, God forbid, anything were to happen. There needs to be someone designated off campus so they could help organize the government after a tragedy like that might happen.
Thompson says the administration picks someone from the cabinet. He says the speaker and minority leader can also pick a designated survivor. Some members of Congress can also be chosen as a precaution according to the Constitution Center.
Only one other time did I know any of the other designated survivors. And that night, before the State of the Union, the two of us had dinner together, and then we both went our separate ways.
The Constitution Center says a designated survivor is typically chosen during inaugurations and presidential speeches.
They're going to pick someone who has some institutional memory and someone that the caucus would feel comfortable having in that position.
Education Secretary Miguel Cardona was also selected as a designated survivor this year. Laura?